And in my playbook tonight, President Obama will hold his 9th strategy session on the war in Afghanistan this evening. If he wants to send 40,000 more troops over to Afghanistan, it's going to cost about $40 billion a year. The chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, David Obey from Wisconsin, says the American people need to step up and take on that cost by paying a war surtax.
The problem in this country with this issue is that the only people who've been asked to sacrifice are military families, and they've had to go to the well again and again and again and again. And everybody else is blithely unaffected by the war. If we don't pay for it, then the cost of the Afghan war will wipe out every other initiative that we have to try to rebuild our own economy.
Joining me now, Congressman Eric Massa of New York, a veteran. He sits on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, would you go along with a war tax or a war surtax?
Well, we're talking about today in the 200th or 2000th, 969th day of this war, is the reality that we simply have not defined how we will pay for it. It's $100 million a day plus. And Ed, that's almost insignificant compared to the thousands of wounded and killed in action. And I agree with Chairman Obey. The American people have borne absolutely no price for this war except for those military families and active duty service personnel who have given so much. But as soon as you ask for common sacrifice, then nobody even wants to talk about the topic.
Do you think
it is time to define it?
Yeah, Congressman, do you think that this is just a tactic to try to get the president to get support of the American people to get out of Afghanistan? Because nobody wants to pay more taxes.
Well, here's my position, and I've made it very clear on the floor of the House of Representatives when I went there on the 2,950th day. The Afghan people refuse to fight and die for what we are asking American soldiers to fight and die for. We have not defined a mission. If it is to create a national identity where there is none, if it is to, as the general on the ground, McChrystal, said at one point, his most important job that day was to secure elections, and yet we now know how grossly fraudulent that fraud was, then my answer is come home. We have been militarily victorious. It is time to come home.
Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
You bet.